Hey ladies, this is UnderWired. Welcome to the show designed to uplift and support women all over the world.
Hey, I'm Lindsay. They call me the kindest kahuna and the imaginal connector. I love puppies, travel, great coffee, and all of you out there who love humanity.
I'm Betsy Wiersma, a serial entrepreneur and lover of doing good and having fun. My passion is connecting hearts and souls with art, ideas, and adventures.
Hey, I'm Shay Sparks. As an energetic catalyst and fearless communicator, I love to have great conversations with amazing people.
And I'm Sunny, mom of four, here to shed light on what really matters. Together, we're UnderWired. And now for the show.
Whoa,
Hey, everybody.
Live.
Yay, we're live. And it's so good to see you guys.
Hopefully you guys are live.
Yeah, hopefully you're joining us live on Telegram. We're going to be chatting away in today's episode. We've got a lot of good stuff planned for you guys. If this is the first time that you've seen UnderWired or you've joined us through our podcast, welcome. This is the show dedicated to entertaining you, inspiring you, uplifting you, and just having a really good time. It's Monday night as we're recording this, so it's the start of our week, and we hope to just get a little boost that you need at the beginning of the week to make it a great one. And today we've got a great topic. So today's topic is something I know we are all very much all about. We talk about it a lot, even in our personal lives, and now we're bringing it to the show. It is spirituality. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this a little bit. Ladies, I have a question for you guys. But before we kind of talk a little bit more about spirituality, I feel like we need to, first of all, acknowledge that this is a really big topic. And it's an important topic. I know, right? We need to be talking about this. But as I was doing research for today's show, I was going to websites and I was just looking up, well, what is spirituality? And while I think there are literally a trillion definitions for this, I'm just going to read one of them to you. Now, this may resonate with you. It may not resonate with you. But just so we have some context here, one of the definitions I saw is this: spirituality is connecting to the divine through your own personal experience. It is primarily concerned with finding, experiencing, and embodying one's true spiritual nature. So that's kind of, some of the parameters, that, at least is online. It can go all over the place, honestly. But I wanted to ask you ladies today, since we're going to be talking about spirituality, what does spirituality mean to you? Do you resonate with that definition? Do you define it perhaps in a different way? And for our audience out there, tell us in Telegram, what is your definition of spirituality? So Betsy, let's start with you.
Oh gosh, I think that's a pretty darn good definition, all things considered, your own experience with the divine. I always say I don't have a brand preference for my God because I married a guy who came from Jewish heritage, which has so many rich traditions. I really, really love so many things from the Jewish faith. I have come from we jokingly said my parents didn't go to church because they had a tea time. So they were golfers on Sunday. So I did not have the traditional upbringing inside a building. So I found my God on the side of a mountain in Colorado and have never looked back. And so I really believe my 24/7 life is connecting to the divine and the Holy Spirit and being, what I can to make this world work. So yay. And I can't wait to dive into this topic. It's so much fun.
Lindsay, what is spirituality mean to you?
It just means really being connected to your heart and soul and how much you connect that heart and soul to all that is, whether it's a God, a universe, a oneness, a being, whatever. That's what it means to me. And it just means to have a practice around how you honor that. And I can talk more about that later too, but I think that it's really simple.
Yeah. I have a feeling we're going to get pretty in depth into spirituality and our experience and stuff like this. But Shay, what has been your experience? What does that mean to you, spirituality?
What can I say basically that hasn't been covered, except for me, it's about being able to just have an ongoing conversation with who I call God. But I combine everything together, divine, source, universe, everything together under the name of God. So for me, it's really just having that constant conversation with him.
I love that.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
girls, I have to just stop us because in Telegram, Cindy is getting a high five from God. She sent us a picture of her hand, and there's a cloud in the sky that looks just like her hand. She's putting her hand up to the window, and she is getting a high five from the spirit in the cloud. So I got to say, it's so much fun to have all of you with us on Telegram, and please keep sharing because it's really great to see your interpretation. And that is amazing, Cindy. Thank you so much for putting it in the chat.
Isn't that incredible? I almost feel like I don't know if there's a way, Mike, to be able to add that to the show at all. If you're able to convert that into a graphic, I would love for people to be able to see this that, aren't actually on Telegram right now. It's really incredible. Her hand's right there and it looks like God's given her a high five. So maybe we'll add that a little bit later on if we're able to put that together. Well, ladies, I loved everything that you guys, go ahead.
No, I think it's coming up. Mike's got it.
There it is. You have it? Oh,
okay.
I didn't even see it.
I'm not sure that the audience can see it yet, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
If you're watching, you might be able to see it. Yeah.
I think they can look at that. Her hand's like right there. God's given her a high five. So fun. Awesome.
Woo-hoo. Thanks, Mike.
Okay. All right. Well, let's continue on, guys. Let's go into our B. You know, we like to spell out a word in our show. We're going to start with the B word today. And I have the B word. And today we're talking all about beliefs. And I have to tell you, kind of like the word spirituality, my word today being beliefs, I was having a really hard time with this. And I knew I wanted to talk about beliefs because everybody kind of comes to the table with a different set of beliefs, right? And that makes up our spirituality and how we lead our lives. But as I was kind of diving into this, I found like it was hard to kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explore. It was hard to wrap my mind around. And this is the thing, you know, for today's segment for the B word, I don't have everything like tightly like knit up into like a nice little bow for you guys. What I have is a question that I keep asking myself over and over again when it comes to us moving on and us adapting, us becoming who I believe we were truly meant to be as human beings. In this whole process, how do we end up doing this? Because we have a world right now where there are so many different types of beliefs. I was doing a little bit of research online and, you know, the different religions of the world. And I, you know, you guys can probably name them off, but, you know, according to the latest census or figures, we have 31% of our population identifies as Christian. We've got 2% for Judaism. We've got 25% for Islam, 15% for Hinduism. Buddhism gets 5%. And then there's 12% that identify as agnostic, atheist, new age, everything else. Okay. And I'm thinking, holy cow. My experience has been, you know, growing up, I grew up in the church. And from a wee little thing, I was going, you know, I was baptized and I went to the church and I was confirmed. It was a Protestant church. I also went to a Christian school growing up. And I think, Mike, you might have a picture to show little Sunny in her little uniform. And you can't really see the patch, but it has a little cross on it. And it says CHCS, which stands for Chapel Hill Christian School. So I grew up in a very Christian family and, you know, with these ideals, but my ideals taught me that that was the only way. Okay. That if you didn't believe certain things, that you weren't going to heaven. In fact, there was a very bad place you were going to, right? And I'm just thinking, you know, I'm assuming, you know, I don't know a lot about all the other religions out there, but, you know, if Christianity has that mindset, I'm assuming that other major religions have that mindset too. If not, we at least have 31%, according to these numbers, of people that think that, you know, that's kind of it. It's this way or you're wrong. So if we have people that have these sets of beliefs, my question is, how do we make it through this next time period? Like, what is going to happen? And yeah, I would just love to know your guys' thoughts on this. So like I said, this is something that I think about a lot because I know a lot of really good people out there that believe their religion, whatever it is the only way. So how do we navigate this moving forward? Does anyone have any ideas?
I can go first. I have some
go, Lindsay. Sure.
I think about this a lot. And fun fact, I went to Pepperdine University, thought I was going to be a communications major, and ended up taking a Religions of the World class that spun me on my axis. So just a little bit of history. And I thought it was one of the greatest things I ever did for myself was to try to understand what's common between them rather than what's different. So if we can look for what's common in the experience of being human, which is kind of, by the way, why we started the show, we find that more of us are more alike than we are different. There's a massive difference between religion and the dogma, the rules, the stories, the history of the religion and the faith. And I really have come to understand that pretty deeply in my own life. And so I would just say that we are more common and more alike than we are different. And to claim that a particular rule set is the only way to worship or to be spiritual or to connect with God or fill in your blank, it's probably inaccurate, no matter which one it is. What's more accurate is that we're all children of God and we all have our own way to connect, and we oftentimes and awesomely find a tribe, call it a church, a group, a set of individuals who like to do similar things in honor of that relationship with God. So I would just share that's a pretty major distinction in my life. And I've gone down the rabbit hole many, many times. And the fundamental baseline of all religions across the earth is love.
It is.
Just love your neighbor, love yourself, to put it in that context. That's it. Just do that. Everything else takes care of itself, truly. And it's kind of fun to think about how we could just do that instead.
Well, I'm going to jump on here because I always say love is my religion.
Was it Bob Marley who said that too?
Probably, yeah. So I didn't start it. So don't quote me. It wasn't me that started it.
He's going to start rapping. Watch it.
Right. I'm going to start
copyright here.
Some Jamaican music now. Sorry. Okay.
But I love this question, Sunny. I, as a little child, grew up in a church too. It was pretty, it was non-denominational, but it was pretty traditional. And I remember contemplating like, okay, well, if my God is right and the Jewish God is right and the Muslim God is right, then, and the Hindus' gods are right, then who decides once we get up there, whose God is actually right? Right?
Right.
And so I had the most profound experience when I was in Sunday school, sitting in the back row in the folding chairs in the basement of the church, because that's where all the troublemakers sat. And I had this voice that came and literally sat next to me in the chair and leaned into my ear, and we were learning the Easter story. And I feel like it was the voice of God said, "Did you hear that? The religious, quote unquote, people killed Jesus. So be like Jesus and love everyone." Mm-hmm. And from that moment forward, I went upstairs, after church, and they had coffee and Kool-Aid time. And I'm telling all the adults, I don't believe in organized religion. And I'm sure they're like,
they sent you back to the basement.
I'm
Shay,
sure
back
they're
to
like,
the chair.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid. Right.
Absolutely.
But I would continue to ask that question to the adults. Well, who decides who's right? And that's, to me, is the question, right? Who gets to decide? Yeah. We can fight over that, but the reality is, like Lindsay just said, it's the love. Yeah. What if we just loved each other?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm down for that program.
Well, I guess I can say ditto, but that would be really boring. And people would think I was really shallow to only say ditto. But you guys are so smart, and you said a bunch about love. But I found Jesus on a mountain in Colorado in a bus from a Young Life trip, where I was from Indianapolis, Indiana. It's the only time I'd left the state. I went on a bus to Colorado. So start there, a bus. And on the side of a mountain, I said, Jesus, I'm in. I don't think I'm very perfect. I don't know how to do it. I don't have any upbringing to tell me, but you have me, my heart, my soul. Let's do this. I don't think that's exactly the words that's in the manual that you're supposed to say. That was the Betsy version of the I love you, Jesus. And from that day, I just have had that Holy Spirit in me, but I don't really go to a building to find him. I find that my heart is full, and the more I listen and the more I study about Jesus taking time to be quiet and hear his Father's voice, the more I emulate Jesus, the more that I can hear. And then, like you girls have all said, it comes forth in love. Love is the outreach from my heart that shows up as I serve the Holy Spirit, help people love each other. And as I did during COVID, do the videos, love is the antivirus. That love is the thing that can love yourself, love your community, be part of the possible. So I think we're all on the love channel.
And we are on the love channel.
Love Do we have time for me to share one more quick thing about Sunny? I think it's really relevant to our, which we'll talk about later, our kindness project, right?
Okay.
The word love can often be charged for a lot of people about, well, I don't know how to do that, or what if I do it wrong? And it gets caught up in the romantic love and all those different things. I think we touched on this in a previous episode. The reason that I chose, and then we all have come together and really get behind kindness, this is a word you can all do to demonstrate love to yourself and to others. And kindness is a little bit easier word. It's got this catchy phrase to it that everyone seems to know from somewhere in their lifetime. And it doesn't get you all wrapped around an axle about whether it's your kids or your spouse or, whatever. Just be kind. And I think that that's really fundamentally what's at the core of every single human, and kindness for the win, because it is love in a tiny box.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't have, like you said, a gender associated with it. Like love could be like, oh, that's more feminine. That's not true.
Right.
But you know what I mean? It can be viewed that way. Whereas
lots of styles. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never heard of someone being kind is so feminine. I've never heard of anyone being like, right? I can't be kind. I'm a male. Thank you very much.
Right.
You can be anything, and you can
be whatever
kind.
you want. Just be kind. Yeah.
There
you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love it.
I think we have, there were some comments. Oh, Becky said something in the comments that I thought was really great. So this is kind of along the lines, Betsy, of what you were talking about. She says, I was raised in one of those tribes that thought that they were the only ones going to heaven. So I talked about that a little bit. It wasn't fun thinking your friends aren't going to make it. That tribe will be surprised when they see me in heaven because they don't agree with my Jesus. Jesus wasn't a divider, and I think that's where I'm going with this is like, a lot of like the standard kind of religions, there's these dividing lines. You can go so far, and yes, a lot of them are based on love and everything, but it's like, and and it can be viewed as a way to control people. And it's like, we got to take down the dividers and focus. I love the idea. Who was it? Someone was talking about the common denominator. Was that you, Shay? Like, that's it. Yeah, we have a lot of things in common. Let's focus on that. And then embrace the differences, when those come our way. But we are so much more alike than we are different. And it's like, a lot of times I feel like we're all speaking the same language. We're just using just slightly different words, Yeah. And it's like, it's the same darn thing,
It is.
And so, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wonderful.
I love that.
All right. Well, whatever we're doing it together.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, let's do the R word. I think it's going to be really good.
That's because it's Betsy's turn.
Okay, the R word is Betsy's turn. There, we could go on forever with every single segment. So I just took back the night and grabbed the R word, and I'm going to do radiate as our BRA. I got the R, radiate. I know you're still thinking about bralettes from last week, but I digress. Radiate. And I kind of define that in the realm of spirituality as like, what is coming forth from you? What are you shining from you? And have you ever noticed when you walk into a room, who are you attracted to? Are you attracted to somebody who's kind of open and smiling? Okay, we're looking at Shay, the mega attractor of all times. She is our mega attractor or attractress. But just when you see her with the glasses and the hair, and she always has that magnetic, outgoing personality. Lindsay's the same way. Sunny, we try all of us. I worked us all in.
Just kidding.
But everybody on the show, you might notice, you might like watching us because we radiate fun and energy and positivity and possibility and power. And so where does that come from? Well, my friend, best friend, and very good friend of Lindsay, Kathy Hawk, she's been one of our Women of Wonder. She invented something called Clarity International because she wanted to do the science from radiation. And what she believes is when you are in your glory, doing your purpose that God gave you, your spirit is coming forth, that you literally radiate a positive energy, that she can measure that. And she does that through photography. She would take a picture of someone before they talked. Then she'd ask you to tell you everything you wanted in the world, what you wanted, and your face literally would start to glow. Your gland right here, your pineal gland would glow, and you would be more attractive to other like energy. And there's a science behind this. That's in megahertz. So she has got a whole science, and she's got a whole chart in megahertz and how you are. But today I just wanted to give you some actual education inspiration and go through Kathy's 7 steps to creation through letting your spirit, your spirituality, your Holy Spirit, your God's gifts, however you want to call it. How do you get that to manifest in this world? So here's her 7 tips. I thought they were awesome to share. First, take a breath. Just close your eyes and be here now, right? Take a breath, because we're so busy that the first thing to do for creation is to just be quiet and still. The first thing is we work on our thoughts, because thoughts create mental images and impulses from our brain. So when we're creating from source, we start to think positive thoughts and what I would call possibility thoughts. I ask people, what does it look like when it works? Concentrate on when it works. What is the perfect day? What is the darling outfit you're designing, my daughter, Sarah? What is the perfect TV show for Sunny and for Shay? What does the great episode look like? And begin with the end in mind, as Stephen Covey would say. Number 2 is vision. What is the vision for why these thoughts and these details are moving forward? Again, what's more details on the details, right? As this starts to work, what starts to happen, and really picturing from your heart and your soul and your inner source what happens next. Then you put attention and focus on what you want, not make up stories of what you don't want. And how many people ever have that dumb fear, which we've discussed, making up things that have not happened yet, right? Creating bad stories, creating kinks in our chain, our armor, our energy armor, right? Because we go, oh, what if, oh no, what if, after that, put your intention where you put your attention. So now you're putting attention on those details, but you're putting your intention to have more steps ahead, follow through, meet the right person, be in the right situation, have the right experiences, your intention on top of your attention. Next, you take action. And in Kathy's plan, just one baby step at a time. Sometimes you look at a big plan and, oh my gosh, you want to get to the goal line. It's so huge. But your attention and your intention is one action at a time. One breath, one phone call, one post, one proposal, one dream, one conversation, one at a time. And then you release and surrender. Because here's the big secret to creating. You cannot make it happen. You have to let it happen. So the magic of a big God, as I would call it, the magic of the universe inside you, the magic of your beliefs and all the things God has for you is to let go and trust that whatever is supposed to happen will happen. You girls know that I pray, give me the people, places, and things to serve you, Lord, and let all others fall away. Sometimes those boulders are in your way because they're the wrong people. They're the wrong place. They're the wrong time, and they slow you down. So let go and let God get out of the way, and then observe the outcome. What is flowing? Where is it taking you? What is natural? And if it's not happening, maybe it's not the time or the way, and maybe another door is opening. So I believe all this, when you're moving ahead toward your dreams and your goals, you're holding your spirit forward, you're depending on a big God. This helps you radiate that positive energy that will attract people, places, and things to serve with you. So girls, I know that was a mouthful, but I wanted to really teach from some really good things about radiation. I want to ask you, give an example to all of our viewers and listeners, some way you are taking a step forward toward your dreams with your big God and radiating in the world. Okay, it looks like Lindsay's ready to radiate.
Actually,
take it away, Liz.
I always love to radiate. And I wanted to share something that one of our listeners, Cindy Shumway, shared with the whole group. I heard a long time ago that to smile, radiate, like you have a secret you can't wait to share, and smile at everyone. Your face will beam. And she's right. If you just walk through life smiling and radiating that you have a good secret that you can't wait to share, you can't help but be very attractive and radiating. So I wanted to share that. And I will let someone else answer the question because I was just looking at what the girls were saying in the audience.
The girls are saying so many great things about surrender is important. Thank you, Diane and Heather. Thank you for commenting on Tanis's conversations again about reading. But I want an example for everybody else on what you're taking a step forward in, Lindsay. You think about that. We'll come back to you.
You can come back to me. I got something.
I know you do. Shay, you radiate. And I put you up there because we're about to radiate the podcast convention. So you tell me, what are you stepping forward into?
Well, thank you for that. I just feel like, kind of like what I talked about earlier about being Jesus on the ground, right? I just feel like I am there as a beacon of hope, to really highlight that there is hope after trauma, that there is treasure at the end of the rainbow, that there is the shining lining in the cloud, that there is positivity in the world. There's possibility, connection. And sometimes it's just a hug. So,
well, you do all of that so well, Shay. Sunny, what about you?
I feel like more and more people are being brought into my life right now. This is on a personal level, where I get an opportunity, like they come to me because they're really down. I just had this yesterday. A friend called me and I didn't know what it was. I hadn't talked to him in a really long time. And he called me. And as it turns out, his mother passed away and he was just... She'd been sick for a while. She had cancer, but at the same time, it was like he was calling me for support, of course, but it turned into a longer conversation about all of these things in his life, and things kind of weren't going his way overall. And I feel like more and more people like that are coming into my life or presenting themselves. And what I've been doing is being more of that. I mean, it's a little bit, Shay, of what you were talking about, of being that beacon of hope, but also to say it's okay where you're at right now, but no, this isn't what life is supposed to be like. Okay. Yeah. And there is a bigger and better plan for us. And we are in a beautiful time right now where things are going to change. And so it's kind of like being an informer. There was a song, Informer.
Next week. Okay.
Next week.
Skipping ahead, rapper. Sunny.
But I feel like to be
but we hear you. We hear you, Sunny.
Yeah. But I feel like it's happened multiple times. Like I've had like 5 or 6 people in the last couple weeks that are just, they end up coming to me and I get to share that with them. And so, and it gives them hope and it encourages them, but it's about spreading truth. So.
Well, gosh. And I know the segment's going long. Lindsay, you're a quick one and then we're going to head to break. Go ahead.
I'll be fast. I'll be super fast. I think that with radiation, I've come to understand it's that burn inside of you that wants to come out. That truly is what we were talking about in the earlier segment. It's the love and the kindness of the shared experience that you can have with another human being. To just hold that and then share it is just the most magical experience ever. Like a pop in a balloon. We do that.
All right. Well, we want more of that. We want more of that.
Yeah. More of that, please.
More of that support, more of that love. We're going to head to break. You're watching UnderWired.
Hello and welcome to United Network News. I'm Sunny Galt. Now let's check in with our ground command, Kimberly Gogan, from the Office of the Guardian. And she has her whiteboard. Hi, Kim.
I do.
Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me. It's up to all of us to come together. I'm Sunny Galt. Join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the real news.
Welcome back.
Gotta love that song.
Yes. Welcome back. We have been, such an enlightening conversation this evening on spirituality. I'm really excited. And I have the distinct honor of having the A word. For me, I'm going to talk about angels. And I love the woman who put the picture of the clouds in the Telegram chat tonight, because let me just tell you what happened to me yesterday. I was in the pool and I saw multiple angel clouds in the pool. So we must be tuned in and turned on to be able to see those things. So I love that the angel showed up for me in clouds as well. But I will tell you about an angel story that I had. So I was I had a boyfriend at one time who was not nice. He was very abusive. And I was driving and we were, all of a sudden, I had to come to a stop. There was a 5 lane traffic, I believe. Everybody was backed up and they were all being directed to exit the highway. And I was on the far left lane and my wheels were turned so I could exit at some point. And I had my brake on, and a split second, all of a sudden in my rearview mirror, I saw a car about to hit me. And I heard, take your foot off the brake, put the car on neutral, and let go of the wheel. And all of a sudden, moments later, we are on the other side of the highway. The car has been rear-ended. The trunk is literally in the back seat of the car. And I can't sit up. The chair, my seat, I'm driving, my seat is literally laying all the way back. And a man comes over to the passenger side window and says to my boyfriend, he said, "Are you guys okay?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "No, I can't move." And all of a sudden, something happened. A cold rush came over me and I was able to sit up. And I noticed that the chair was reclined and I couldn't get out my door. But whatever. And then I look and I see all the traffic. So we had just made it to the far right lane. So there was still traffic was coming right at us. So I finally got out. And after shock wore off, we were talking about it later. And my boyfriend at the time said to me, he said, "Thank you for driving the car so we didn't so we didn't get hit." And I said, "What do you mean?" I wasn't driving. I was told to let go of the wheel. And all I kept worrying about is we're going to hit other people. We're going to hit other people. We're going to hit other people. And he said, "No, I was watching you. You were steering the car." And I said, all I can say, it wasn't me. And that why I couldn't move is because there was an angel sitting on me steering the car.
Nice.
So that is my, I know, me too.
Woo!
That is my angels on earth example. And, growing up, my mom loved angels, and there's an Angels on Earth publication. We read it every month. And even after I moved away and graduated, she sent it to me and we would always share stories about it after we read it. So I'm curious about you ladies, and feel free to our Telegram audience to put it in the chat if you had any angels on earth, experiences. So Sunny, I'm going to start with you. Have you had any angels on earth experiences?
I have, but it's not as dramatic as yours. Yours was so beautiful. I'm like, I don't want to go next. I don't want to go next. So I had a situation, this is several years ago. It was around Christmas time, and I felt like, this is before COVID, and I wanted my kids to do something special. I wanted, like, how Christmas is so commercialized, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like trying to help my kids understand this is about giving. It's not about giving presents. And there's like a local nursing home that's close by our house. And I'm like, well, maybe we can do something for the people in the nursing home. So long story short, we ended up making all these little crafty, they look like little Christmas tree things. And then my kids decorated them, they painted them, they glued them. And then we hung it was like a little Bible verse from it. And I can't remember which scripture we used, but it was something about, God, trusting God and all this kind of stuff. And so we put them in this box and we went, and I had this feeling going to the nursing home. I don't know what it was. I felt like we were going to see an angel. I don't know why I felt that. It just kind of came over me. And so I'm on guard, right? Because I'm like, where's the angel? Where's the angel? So we end up passing out all of these like little Christmas tree ornaments, right, to all of the people and talking with them a little bit. My kids are doing it too. And I see this guy like over in the corner. I presume, I don't even know if he was, he looked like an older gentleman. So I assumed that he lived there, right? So I was a little intimidated by him because he was sitting by himself and I couldn't tell if he was a nice guy or not. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go give him this ornament. So I go up to him and, I'm talking to him and then I hand it to him and he's looking at the ornament and then he looks at the Bible verse and I don't know what it was, but he looked up at me. You know how like in movies, like they'll put that little twinkle in their eye, like,
Yeah. Did you hear the sound too?
I heard it. And right when he did that, I remembered I'm supposed to see an angel. The whole thing clicked. So I've got no proof that was an angel. Like the heavens didn't open up or anything like that. It was just a feeling. And I was like, and the message that I got from it was, you see, you almost didn't talk to that person. Yeah. You almost didn't.
Watch out when you talk yourself out of,
Yeah, you almost talked yourself out of that. And look, that was the answer. That's what you were looking for.
Least expected. Yeah.
That was my angel experience.
Okay, mine is so much more down to okay, so what saved my life was going to an art class and I started making angels and I made a card deck called Dream Big, Live Big with angels. And I thought that was the end, but it was the beginning. And so art saved my life. So now I have 36 angels that I made in a card deck. And the whole reason God told me to make these is so that when you're having a day or whenever you want to journal, you want to pray, you pull one. And this happens to be one that says love wins, which is funny because that's what we just put in the thing, love wins. That's supposed to be me and Sarah. And my daughter, which now she has bright red hair. So, it was a premonition. And the question for this one is, where can you show love? So each one of my angels ask you a question. What support do you need? What brings you joy? And they all have different angels. What do you promise to yourself? What action is up next? All angels, even gray-haired angels. So just for all of us and all of our stages. So mine's very literal in the angel comment is I just felt God gave me art, which saved my life. It's changed my life, allows me to serve differently. And this angel deck is a super fun way to have conversations and to have fun. So amen on the angels.
I love that. Awesome. I love that. Lindsay?
I'm going to keep it simple because I know our time is coming close to a close, but I experience angels weekly. So I don't know if that makes me weird or just because I'm a really strong believer that all of us are earth angels and often have reasons that we are to touch someone's life, sometimes unexpectedly, without even knowing why. Why am I supposed to talk to that guy? Like you just said, Sunny, and it doesn't make any sense, but then we do it. And it's all of a sudden how the twist of fate or things start to move. And I have been in tune with that magic since I was a little kid. And so I know angels exist and I don't know what they look like or how they're supposed to look, but I just feel their presence all the time. So thanks for asking the question, Shay.
Yeah, I love that. We do have angels on earth. And I will say that a lot of times our animals are angels. My mom used to even call her dog. That wasn't her name. The dog's name was Bootsy. But my mom would say, this dog saved my life. This dog is an angel. And I thought that was so sweet. And the reason she saved her life because she was isolated and alone. And this dog brought so much joy, as we know, pets do, because we talked about this before. So
Well,
Yeah,
hey, I have to throw in what Tana said, because she has this huge
please.
story like you, that she was driving and she heard an angel say, turn around. She was going down a road and she heard this voice and she turned around, and sure enough, there was a fire on her stove and it would have burnt the whole house down. And she turned around the car and she was able to get the dogs out, and the angel saved her home and her loved ones. So again, thank you all that are sharing with us on Telegram, and that'd be fun to continue this angel conversation. So keep telling us all what you got. It's great. Thank you so much, Janice.
Yeah, thank you. And what do we have next, Lindsay?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to do something different today, ladies. So I'm so excited to bring this to you. I don't even know how it came about, except that I have the esteemed pleasure of not introducing the wow segment today, which is normally a woman of wonder. Today, we are going to do meow.
Or bow.
Or I'm calling it the man of excellence and of wonder. So meow.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we added the excellence. I
added an excellence just because he is pretty spectacular. And today I have the esteemed pleasure of bringing live into our studio Mike Schneider. Mike, are you ready to come on board with us? Yeah.
The crowd goes wild for Mike.
Hey.
So to everyone out there, who hasn't met Mike yet, this is our illustrious producer, and the guy behind the scenes is whispering in our ears going, "You have 1 minute left." So he's our guy, and he knows how much time we have. And Mike, we're just so delighted to have you be our meow today. You are a man of excellence and of wonder. And I have some questions for you that I'd like to just spend a few minutes, because I know you to be a very spiritual person. And we've been talking about spirituality today. And I thought the first way to begin this would be to have you just tell us kind of how you define, or what do you think of spirituality? How do you put it into context?
This is amazing. The whole conversation is absolutely amazing. There's little things that everybody says that are little catchphrases that I have, that I use. So it's kind of fun to listen and see the similarities we have, like the commonalities we have. I believe that spirituality for me is just a natural thing. It's your connection to God. Simple as that. To give you a little background, I grew up as a Catholic, so I was raised. I was taught by nuns and monks. If that, so like 12 years old, I'm watching this whole Catholic story thing. The kneel, stand up, sit down, kneel, cross yourselves, and all this. And I don't know where it came from. All of a sudden, I realized, they're trying to explain life. Like everything that was intrinsic to me as I was growing up, I finally went, and then I said, I think they've got it a little wrong. So,
go to the basement, to the metal chair.
That's right.
That's right.
The Shay.
With donuts.
No Kool-Aid for you.
Here, let me switch here because I want to open this up to a whole conversation.
We're yelling at you in the dark. There you go.
I have a few questions for you, Mike, about, we've been hearing a lot, and as UNN messengers and participants and audience members, we hear about a spiritual war that's taking place all around us right now. Can you tell our listeners what you know about that and why it's happening right now? What's going on?
Absolutely. And this is definitely just from my experience and from what I understand is we've come to a point where essentially Source has decided to live in the light and to eliminate the dark. So that's a process transitioning from a light-dark existence into a light existence. So that's the easiest way I can describe it.
No, I love that. I think that's it's a great explanation. And my follow-on question to that would be, in a light existence, right? Does that mean that the dark goes away completely, or that we transition from this, what feels more like a duality, and to some degree more dark than light? Does the pendulum kind of swing to a more light place?
Absolutely. So the way I look at it is we live in a relative universe, right? So I know I stand here because you are over there. I have something to relate it to. So degrees of good and bad. So degrees of light and darkness. So do I think we're going to a complete light universe that's diffused by light? Yes. Right now it's diffused pretty much by dark. So the dark is being eliminated. Now, that's a process. I don't believe that's going to happen overnight. One of the things that I've done is I've worked with youth. So I've taken a lot of psychology classes. And so I love to watch human behavior, and I love to watch how people experience life, right? So what I see is this diabolical system that we live in that has kind of boxed people in to a certain way of living, which is lack, which is just all for me because I'm in survival mode, where I see we're going to abundance, where we're all going to be working together. Now, are there going to be degrees of relativity in the light? Absolutely, because we're still, so the way I look at it is we're all aspects of God. So you're a piece of God, Sunny's a piece of God, Shay's a piece of God, Betsy's a piece of God. So how we treat each other is how we treat God. So every day I walk this earth and I do my best to treat people as they're an aspect of God. Now, we've had a lot of conditioning, so people are clouded by lack and hurt and pain. So they always going to treat you as if they're an aspect of God. I think what happens in that point is it's a reflection of ourselves. To be able to look back at ourselves and look at ourselves and say, hey, have I healed this part of myself? Am I shining the best God piece that I can? And that usually brings me to a point of compassion, because it's always healing in here for me to see how well, to see the change out there in the world. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. You just tapped into a couple of what I call the Jedi skills for staying calm in a situation where this world, we'll call it Earth, but I'm going to go universe, is shifting to more light. And a couple of those skills you just nailed. One was to radiate, like Betsy would say, be the light and just keep going that way, to observe and notice that everyone is still a part of this oneness, this one being. And the more you can love and appreciate it on that, the better. And I forgot the third already because you were so eloquent, but we can go back and look at it. So it's awesome. And, Mike, I know we're running a little bit out of time, but I wanted you to say, what can you recommend to everybody who's listening right now to help stay on the light side of this spiritual advancement? How can we just put it in their hearts and souls to stay on the light?
Let go.
You're good at it.
So I heard Betsy say this phrase, which is one of my favorites. Let go and let God, especially when you are frustrated. And the way I kind of keep myself in check is this service to self or service to source? So is this service to self or is this service to God?
Love that. Yeah. T-shirt.
Beautiful.
Let's make a T-shirt.
If somebody,
I have one.
If somebody has hurt in them, and they come after you, is it in service to self or service to God if you go after them? That's just those are just kind of the little tools that I use to walk forward. And always, one of my best tools is nature. Nature is the best grounding thing.
Excellent. Yes, for sure. That's one way to reconnect to all that is. Just put your toes in the sand, as I say down in Florida.
Put on bug spray, because we
know
that.
Spray. Yeah.
Put on some bug spray. It's another story.
Things bug you.
Oh gosh. Well, Mike, you are 100% our total meow for this show. We just love you. We can't say enough about you. And we want to thank you for sharing with our audience also, what's going on out there. And I know you to be a very strong spiritual being. So thank you so much for being part of our show and our meow today. And with that, I know we're going to be moving on to our next segment, which I think is a break. Yes.
Let's break.
Okay, we'll be right back.
That way we can
Here
give
we
Mike
go,
a
then.
break too. So that's right. Don't go anywhere. And we'll be right back.
This is Real
Thanks,
Talk.
everybody.
We discuss important issues impacting our world and how we as humanity can come together, overcome our obstacles, and move forward towards a bright and beautiful future.
Welcome back.
Yay.
And I have the out of the box segment. And we're going to do something really out of the box today. We're going to do a meditation. But before we do, I want to read something to you about the third eye chakra. And what it says, where it is, first of all, is right here in between your eyebrows. And it is the center of inner perception and insight, and it helps to generate clarity of thought, spiritual contemplation, and sincere self-reflection, which is why I chose it, because I thought it was perfect for today. The well-balanced third eye chakra provides intuitive wisdom and guidance, which can be trusted with confidence. An overactive chakra, third eye chakra, can make an individual intolerant, judgmental, and unsympathetic. So it sounds like what we've been talking about, love being the religion, is that everyone needs to clear their third eye, right? So this is what I thought we would do. We would do something a little out of the box. We're going to do a meditation live. So I'm going to have you guys can get comfortable. Hopefully our audience can get comfortable and you're not driving. If you're driving, please don't do this.
Do not get comfortable if you're
not
driving.
get comfortable if you're driving. But
Press
if you
pause.
are,
Not close your eyes.
Unless you have an angel.
Yeah.
Sitting on you. But that was
If
our
you
other
are-
story.
if you are able, please get comfortable. And I want you to put your 2 fingers of your dominant hand over your third eye, which is between your 2 eyebrows. Okay? And close your eyes. And I'm going to have you take a deep breath in and hold it for 2 counts. And then exhale through your mouth. Do that one more time. Breathe in and hold it for 2. And breathe out through your mouth. Continue to breathe while your fingers are on your third eye, activating your third eye. And what we're going to start with is, as you keep breathing, I want you to visualize something that you've always wanted to manifest. That might be the perfect career, the perfect job, the perfect relationship, or maybe it's the perfect house, car, or maybe it's just the perfect best self for you. So whatever it is that you have always wanted, but you have been holding on to, make a picture of that in your mind's eye. And as you have that picture, I want you to float into that picture and look around. Look to your left, look to your right. Notice what's near you. Notice all the colors. Notice who else is there. And as you're noticing, you just keep looking at this picture of this beautiful thing that you have always wanted and was holding on to it so tight. Just keep breathing. And now, I want you to turn up the colors, make them brighter, make them more vivid, make everything a more clearer picture. If there are sounds important in your vision, amplify those sounds. If there are feelings that you're feeling while being in this vision, amplify those feelings so you're really feeling it. You're feeling it in your heart. You're feeling it in your body. You feel the joy, the peace, the love that goes along with this vision. And I want you to continue to look around with this brighter picture, this louder picture, this more clear picture that you have of what you wanted to manifest. Just take a couple more deep breaths. And now, I want you to place that picture in front of you like you're watching yourself on a movie screen. And you're seeing it like a panoramic IMAX movie, watching you interact with this vision. Hearing you interact with this vision, seeing the peace, the love, the joy that you are feeling in this vision. And as you're looking at yourself on the movie screen of your vision, we're going to release any attachment to the outcome for your vision. We're going to release the timeline for your vision. And we're going to trust that it is in the best interest of your higher self that it will come to you in the exact best time for you. And as you watch yourself on this movie screen of your vision, while you're releasing the attachment to the outcome, to the timeline, and trusting the divine that everything is working out for your best self, for your highest self, for the highest good in the universe. We're going to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to blow all your energy into that vision. And I want you to inhale again and blow all of your energy into that vision. Inhale again and blow all of that energy into the vision as you exhale. And one last time, inhale. And as you exhale, blow all the energy into that vision. And I'm going to count up from 5. And 5, you're going to remove your fingers from your forehead, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. 4, you might swing your hips, move your shoulders, kind of get back into your body a little bit more. Hear what's going on in the room. 3, you're going to sit up straighter, get more into a attentive posture. 2, you can already open your eyes. You can see what's going on in the room. And 1, you are back into your room, back into your body, feeling all the feelings of what you just experienced with your clear vision that you had for your highest self.
And the crowd goes wild.
That was
How do you guys?
awesome.
I don't know. Is it
Thanks.
appropriate to clap after that? I wanted to clap.
I think
Yes,
we could just
it's
say an
always
amen. I
important.
know we're so
Yes.
late. We're running so late, but amen, Shay Berry. Excellent job.
Yes. I
Awesome.
was ready to
Beautiful.
run out because this became so real. I gotta go now because it's like it's gonna
Yeah.
happen any
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
It's so right there. That was
So
awesome.
clear. Good.
So clear.
Good.
Yeah, that was great.
Good. Good.
Okay,
Well,
that was so amazing, but I think we got to tell them, how do they participate in this wonderfulness next week?
Well,
Lindsay, are you going to talk about Telegram?
Wait, we gotta come back in our bodies, guys.
yeah, we gotta go back to the body,
I was
back into the room.
yes, I will go there. I wanted
Onto
to
the
share with
script.
everyone. Of course, same bat time, same bat channel next week, next Monday, 5 o'clock Pacific. Please join us on Telegram at UnderWired Live. Don't forget to type in the live part because that's very important. Otherwise, you'll end up in somewhere else. And we love, actually, really, really love having you guys join us. It was so cool to have everybody commenting and sharing your emojis and telling us stories. And we just want more of that, please. So please come back. And as you know, we often will reward people with kindness coins. And so when we're going to call out, look at Betsy, you're missing one today.
I know. I'm baking it.
I think
baking
today's kindness coin winner is Cindy Shumway for sharing the photographs of the clouds.
Yes.
And Cindy, if you will private message me, I would be glad to send you a kindness coin and say thank you. We're just so honored to have all of you with all of us. So, we love you and we want you to join us next week. So that's it for now. We are Underwired. We are the girls, and we're going to say bye. We love
Bye.
you.
See you next week.
Bye.
I just wanna love you.
Yay!
They did it.